We got an OTA coming. It is time to see what we should expect in this. I've got a 98.34% accuracy rate in guessing these. So we're going to look at the spreadsheet. We're going to look at some data from different websites to see what is likely going to change. So let's just get in this. By the way, if you're not subbed to the channel, please consider doing that. It's my birthday month and I'm pushing for 5K. All right, let's get to it. Flashbang. Sorry, this is not in dark mode. I would love if Google had that. If you know how to do that, please comment below. All right, so anyway, first, I like to I track all these. I'm a nerd, or I'm actually awesome. This isn't nerdy. Everybody loves spreadsheets. All right, so what I've got here. So rehash one, I've been talking about Spectrum. We've got the Marvel movies coming. God, where is she? I've mentioned her a few times in here. Let's see. So Spectrum back. Okay, what's 5? May. All right, so back in May, and I mentioned that she should be a 6'6". Well, back in May, I said 6'7", and then I said it again. I don't know, but I said 6'6" or 6'7" would be great, but needs a build up for be worth it. So look, I've been talking about her for a long time. I got a number of other ones that I'm not necessarily rehashing straight up right now, but I also mentioned rehashing the ones that I mentioned on 9/13, which was Angel. I'm not going to get to the details. Angel needs a buff straight up. Warlock. This is tough, but it's hard to figure out exactly how you would do Warlock. I get that. I think Glenn mentioned it on one of the podcasts he was on. It might have been KM Best. Echo, I think, needs a slight buff. Baron Mordo, still, I would love to at least see that. That's not an OTA, but Spider-Man 2099 destroys something more than once. But again, that's not an OTA. Wake, I would buff to 2/4. Patch, maybe move the locations no matter what. So those are the things that I absolutely wanted to rehash based on my previous always being accurate on these. Trust what you hear. Comment below with what you're thinking that these are going to be. So now let's jump into the sites to see what data we're getting. First up, we're going to go to Marvel Snap Zone. We're in the meta section. We're looking at cards, top 30 cards of the day. I don't love of day stuff, but it gives us an idea because typically from day to day to day, it'll give you an indication of what's up. Series 3 to 5, we like that. Sort by meta share, released only. Power any, blah, blah, blah. Tier 1, most used. Jeff. Don't you touch Jeff. Okay. Second dinner, do not touch Jeff. Luke Cage. I actually think he's fine where he is. Kitty, I think's fine. Magic, Hella. All of these, the top tier here, I think is good. I wouldn't touch any of those cards, honestly, at all. I mean, yeah, no. I was saying Hella, but still, no, I wouldn't touch it. Next row here, Nebula, Venom, Ghost Rider, Iron Lad, Dracula, MODOK, Taskmaster. Still feel pretty good about all of those. It's changing. Iron Lad, maybe a 4/5, maybe, but it's still Series 5, so I fully expect them to leave that as is until they series drop it. Hater. All right, it just is what it is. The rest of these I think are good. Shuri and Rogue, both good. I think it's fine. Tier 2. Okay, so Loki's on this one. That's been a hot topic for a while. I mean, the only thing I would probably change with Loki is maybe some power, maybe make it not worth as much. I'd say, you know, to bring it down some, but honestly, like I'm borderline fine with Loki. I think Mobius really hurt him. So I think that's fine. The rest of these I've got no issue with. Next row, Spider-Man, High Evo, Deadpool, Wong, Null, Visible Woman, X-23, no, all good with that. This next row, Colleen Wing, Lockjaw. Wow, Lockjaw's still getting a lot of play. Interesting. All right. I'm good with all this row as well. Like, I'm not seeing anything here that I'd ultimately change that much. We were talking about in the best decks the other week that Sauron is a best deck. I made a comment in that video about that card a little bit. You could adjust that one because you don't really want to affect stuff like Typhoid Mary. Where was Red Skull at? I mean, I talk about Typhoid Mary and Red Skull and maybe changing those. The problem is like, gosh, like, do you want to change those cards just because of one deck? Or do you want to do something in that deck to weaken that deck, which is all built around that one? I don't know. That's a tough call, but I'm not focused on those necessarily. We'll see. Now, I think if that deck continues to be at the top, which it has been forever, they've probably got to do something, but it's never like overpowering. So I kind of dig it. Silk, I think you could do a 2/4. I think that card would probably still be fine and get just as much play, which I don't know. I mean, Silk can be a little risky, but we'll see. Let's go all the way to the bottom. We're not going to look at tier 3. Let's see the worsts. All right. We talked about Baron Mordo. Master Mold, is Master Mold really only a 2/2? Why did I think that was a 2/3? I think it should be a 2/3. I mean, straight up, I think it should be maybe even a 2/4. Is that 2 OP? I would consider a 2/4 for Master Mold. Not gonna lie, I think Master Mold maybe a 2/4, Ronin even a 5/4. I think that would maybe bring something together for those. if Master Mold ever makes a Marvel movie, or into an MCU movie or something, I think they definitely got to touch it. Ronan, he's obviously not gonna. I mean, spoiler if you haven't seen the MCU, but they're not. There's no, nothing's gonna change him. Howard the Duck needs a buff. Howard sucks. Ghost, I think, needs a buff. Quake, we already talked about. Stegoron, I've talked about a bunch. And Baku's terrible. We talked about Spider-Man. I think while Tuma's down here, I think he's fine as is. Maybe a 3-9, maybe. We'll see. The rest of these, I'm good. Drax, I don't know, maybe 3-5? 3-5 maybe? Was that what he was before? God, what was Drax before? Comment below. Wow, look at Gene. Poor Gene all the way down here. Poor Gene. All right, the rest of these I'm not going to keep going through, but I think they're all... look at this. Arrow. Cozy would be so upset. Probably crying in his sleep there. Arrow, one day you'll be back, I promise. Mojo, I like that they adjusted that a little bit. Maybe... Nah, I was going to say 3-3, but I don't want to go there. So let's check out untapped.gg. See... Well, actually, no. Hold on. Hold on a second. Let's go back up here. Let's sort by cube rate. Well, okay. Sauron, we talked about that. Kind of what the thing was in the Galactus? What? Wow. Okay. I'm good with these. I'm good with this whole row. I think any adjustments to this row need to be minor. With maybe, well, even if it was Sauron, the most you would do is maybe take some points away. I think that card's probably still getting played even as a 3-1. Frankly, I think it would still get played. I don't like touching Sarah, Wong, Nimrod. I would not... Oh, Red Skull and Typhoid, but that's all because of Sauron. All of these are because of Sauron. All three of these. And I would not nerf any of those. Same thing here. I wouldn't touch any of those. These, I wouldn't nerf any of those as well with Death, Taskmaster, Christmas. Wow, I do. I'm at Don't Talk to Me About Christmas Until After Thanksgiving guy too, so I don't know where that came from. Talked about Iron Lad earlier. Jeff drops down quite a bit, so I'm good with that. So let's scroll all the way to the bottom here. See what is bottom cube rate. Already talked about those. Shauna needs a straight rework. I've mentioned that several times. Talked about Baron Mordo, Black Bolt. I wouldn't touch yet. I think just there's ways to make him stronger with certain metas. He had his day in the sun for a little bit. Probably will come back at some point. Ghost Spider could use some love, maybe. I don't know if I'd want that to be a 1-3 though. I think she might just be fine as is, and she's just not where she needs to be as far as the meta right now, but I don't think I'd change the card. Howard the Duck talked about it. Spider-Ham, gosh, talk about fall off. Talk about fall off. Stature down here. We've talked about the rest of these. I don't think I'd bring Lady Deathstrike's still that low. I wouldn't change her though. I think those are all fine. All right, so now let's actually, I don't think there's anything else we want to change in this one. Let's go over to untapped.gg. All right, so the way they got this set up is latest patch. We've got pool 3, 100 plus, and you can do card series 3, series 4/5. So they consider Luke Cage the only tier A card. I disagree with that. I also wouldn't touch it. I just wouldn't. Tier B, top row, Death, Ghost Rider, Venom, Doom, Magic, Arnim Zola's, yeah, none of those I'd touch. Row 2, I'm not looking at anything. None of those. I wouldn't touch any of those. At row 3, Black Cat, Mystique, Wave, Colleen Wing, Maria Hill, Invisible Woman. Yeah. No, I wouldn't touch any of them. I'd scroll to the bottom, see what they've got down here. Quake, we talked about. Ghost a little bit. Ronan, Mordo, Warlock. Again, Atuma. The reason I said 3-9 is just to try to get him to play a little easier. And then also, if you're going to play him a little easier, take down the power just a tad. But that's something to think about. Maybe on 5, that way you can play armor and Atuma. But anyway, it's something to noodle on. The rest of these, again, I don't think I'd change any of these. I know they're not getting a lot of play, but I don't think I'd change many of them except for like reworks like I was talking about with Shauna. All right, so now let's look at Series 4-5. This is probably more important. Nico and Elsa. It's Elsa's season. She's supposed to shine. I wouldn't change anything with her. Nico just came out. Nothing to talk about there. Mobius I've talked about several times. I think this card plays even at a 2-2 or even a 2-1. I think that's something that I would look at there with Mobius. Jeff, no, I'm not changing. We already talked about Loki. Iron Lad talked about. I wouldn't change any of the rest of those cards. Silk, maybe a 2-4. The rest of these I wouldn't change at all. Black Knight is a C tier. Any of these buffed? No, I don't. Howard, we talk. How's Howard a C tier? He should be a D tier. Wow. The rest of these, I don't think I'd touch. Jean, I think maybe I'd make Jean either a 2-2 or a 2-3. She's just a little problematic right now. Man, Phoenix Force. Poor girl. Poor girl. One day. I don't know. I don't know how I'd change that card. You don't want to make it too strong because it's been too OP, but I love that card with multiple, man. It was just so much fun. The rest of these, Ravana, I've talked about a million times. This card cannot cost more than 2. It needs to cost 2. Lower the power accordingly. With that, maybe make it a 2-2, a 2-1. If you're worried about 2-2 being too strong, start with 2-1, build it up if it's too weak. I'd be down for that. Spider-Ham, I think a 1-2 for sure. I think it's just so weak at a 1-1. So anyway, that's what we got on untapped.gg. And then we, of course, have our friends over on snap.fan. All right, so this we're going to sort in last 30 days, though. We're not, maybe we'll do 1 week at the end. We're not going to look at scene. We're going to look at win percentage. Sauron, Typhoid Mary, Shocker, Craven, Thing, Red Skull, Abomination, Misty, Vision. Would you nerf Vision? 5-7 on Vision? Isn't that what he was? I don't think he got as much play. I like Vision at a 5-8, honestly. I think he's fine. I think he's probably getting a lot more play because of Elsa. So I wouldn't touch him. If a Nightcrawler, same thing. Getting a lot more play with, especially with Nico now, and some bounce with Falcon and Beast. Patriot, Cyclops, Hitmonkey, Silk. All of these are starting to climb up a bit, I think, because Angela. I love Angela where she is. I don't think I'd touch her. We talked about Elsa a little bit. Season of Elsa. Can't touch her now. It's too soon. Mysterio, Maria, Bishop. All right, so let's go all the way to the bottom here just to see win percentage real quick. Watu, I think they messed up on that or that nerf on him. Whatever. That was stupid. I don't like it. Not a fan. Strong guy. He's been a problem for a while. Adam Warlock we talked about. Mordo. Mr. Negative. He sucks now. I would bring Mr. Negative to 4-1 probably. Just Mobius makes it so the card's basically irrelevant. It just sucks. There needs to be a card. It just sucks. It just took the whole archetype out. The card is dead because of Mobius. It's tragic. I would rework Mr. I don't know how you rework it, but maybe there's a card that Mobius, like, maybe they make an Ouroboros card that, like, is like, I don't know. Mobius doesn't affect Mr. Negative. I don't know. That's stupid. It's too niche. I don't like it. Negasonic, I've said before, I think she should be cheaper, but I don't want to keep going up that one because what we really like to see here, they like to talk about when drawn. Sauron, of course. Man. All right, so Sauron is becoming a higher tier probability here. I think it's pretty high, but I said that in the other video. I think there's something that needs to be changed with that archetype a little bit. The win percentage is probably too high and too consistent. Patriot, Red Skull, Elsa. I refuse to touch Elsa right now. I refuse. Typhoid Mary, Brood, really? Maybe that's tied in with the Elsa. Shocker, Misty. I'm looking for something here that I'd want to change. Kazar, really? All right. I don't see anything here. Silk again, 2-4. Hulk's fine. Kitty, Dark Hawk, Angela, Mysterio. Mysterio. Would I? No, I don't want to change Mysterio. I like how that interacts with Elsa. I think it's. But I was like, do you make it a 2-3 and you make it so that they're not played? But then that's like, it just kills the card. It straight kills it. You'd have to make them like a 2-5 because it would kill it, in my opinion. All right, let's scroll all the way to the bottom here and see what we've got. Watu, strong, it's all the same, samesies. Everything's Kang. We had a video where we were talking about rework opportunities there. Needs to be reworked. I'm hoping, gosh, I don't know, maybe at the end of Loki season 2 they do something with it. I think we still got like at least another month of that, so maybe November, December time. I don't know when that series ends, so there's only like 6 episodes, so that would be in November. Maybe late November they could change them, but it'd have to be a patch. So maybe the November patch. That'd be cool. Rhino, Crystal, Master Mold. We've talked about all of these already. Ravana needs to be changed. Like, again, no more than 2 cost. Absolutely not. Shouldn't be any more than that. And then the win played stuff. I mean, these are obvious. I wouldn't change any of these either. I know Elias just got nerfed. He's still doing really well when played. That makes sense. So I'm glad. I mean, if people complain like little, I don't know what came over there. I could see them maybe bring that to 6-2, but please don't. That would just. I think they killed the card at 6-3. I don't play it as much. I think it's in a healthy spot right now. All of these other ones we've all talked about. Nothing's jumping up. Infinite jumps up a little bit. The other ones we talked about jumped up. MODOK I think's fine. All of these are fine. Let's scroll to the bottom, see if there's anything there. Yeah. So again, I've been super accurate with these. I'm always nailing them. So trust what I say, basically. With all the stuff that I've talked about, these changes will happen. So we'll see what happens later. Let me know what your thoughts are on what's going to change in the OTA. I think it's tonight based on when you're watching this video. So I'm shooting this before I release it the day of so that we can get some idea of expectations, build the hype up a little bit. Love to know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Again, if you made it this far in the video, please consider hammering down that like button. It really helps with the algorithm, and subscribing helps if you want to watch the videos and help promote the channel some. So until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.